Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us for the AdEspresso October webinar. We're delighted to be joined by Alex and the team from Google today. So you're going to be hearing some strategy direct from the Google team. So it's going to be really relevant, really up to date. And we're going to be covering how to grow your online sales with Google this holiday season. Just before I hand over to Alex to introduce himself, a little bit of housekeeping that we always do. First of all, we are going to be recording. There's going to be lots of tips included in this webinar, so you might want to go back over the replay. We will send that within 24 hours by email. If for any reason you don't receive that, just go to adespresso.com/webinars. And again, we'll have that webinar replay up for you within 24 hours. Also, we are going to be taking questions. We've got a lot of questions come in before the webinar, so I think we won't be able to get to all of them at the end, but we're going to pick the best ones. So please submit any questions. Also, if you've got any technical issues, my colleague Tori is going to be monitoring chat today. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Alex, and I'm going to just pass control over to Alex here. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you, team. Excited to be here.
Right, so just making you presenter there, Alex.
Okay, give me the time. Let me see if...
Yep, that's coming up now.
Perfect. Okay, let's make it a little larger. Okay, let me know if you see my screen. Everyone is having hopefully a great day.
Yep, that's perfect. We can see your screen there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and excited to be here. So today we wanted to give a little bit more of a context of upcoming holiday seasonality and make sure everyone is prepared, and then have a peace of mind for what are the things to watch out for and how to use Google Smart Shopping and Smart Bing solutions to really, all the suites of the product really, to make sure you're really prepared for what's coming up, because it's hard to predict, as you can see here on the slide, that been a lot of changes last year, a lot of unpredicted demand. But hopefully by the end of the presentation, you're going to be able to have a better understanding what can be mitigated and how you can prepare yourself for upcoming seasonality. So some of the things and trends we see last year, they did prevail into this year as well. So we're going to touch on those a little bit more, quick stats moving forward too, and really kind of give a little bit more idea what's been happening in the market and the trend line it goes to. So in 2022, the global holiday digital assets really skyrocketed, as everyone probably aware and expected. So by Black Friday last year, we had 30% increase in year-on-year in terms of their market allocation and spend and investment. And then the Cyber Monday as well drove like 18% more increase. So overall, 45% all digital holiday spend been happening last year during the Cyber Week, as we call it, so a combination of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And you can see kind of here the phased out, investment allocation. This is like global stats, right, from the Salesforce. Key learnings, what we discovered from the last year. So there's been a lot of increase in investment, not only during actual Cyber Monday week, but also the pre-Cyber week, so like 83% increase in the revenue growth actually. So that speaks to how the consumer behaves, the trends been changing, and how people started to really tune in earlier sometimes to try to find their solutions and products and maybe some gifts for upcoming holidays. But and not only for Black Friday, Cyber Monday week, but also even post that, like tail end of the year, all the way down to the Christmas, end of the season. Also saw like a large increase in the the shoppers activity and then the overall growth revenue. On the right side here, you can also take a look at the like that increase in the digital revenue growth. And the biggest industry, of course, which led the way was e-com, like contributing for like 50% overall increase in the revenue last year. So really dramatic shift. And this also is going to be continue this pattern throughout the year. So we do see that based on the all the behavior and then how the consumers are thinking about this year, 2021. We see some holidays are planning to go in store, so I guess it's going to be tentative on different markets and how the countries are open up or not. But there's definitely a lot of intent for people to return back to store, but at the same time, everyone is cautious and really still sticking to some of the old the behavior and patterns. And the online is still really strongly emphasized that the 58% of shoppers here are saying they will definitely shop more this year online than even the previous year, that even like 2022. So there's definitely amplified importance of this making sure you're also present online, even though people do see and then they tend to think that they're will come to the store at some point because most of the people actually wanted to shop more this year than the last year. And of course, like making sure you're also digital first presence, like because all the lines between retail and on store and then online is going to be blurred right now this year. So it's kind of hard to predict what's going to happen. But one pattern is really clear that you have to be present online. You have to be there, making sure you capture the intent because people already started to search and they're already contributing to the larger increase, right, for the upcoming holidays. Preparedness is the key for this unique retail holiday, right? It's hard to predict what's going to happen, but we definitely want to make sure you are ready. And then, you want to be careful, cautious on looking at the stats of last year. It may or may not be a good prediction of what's going to happen in the future. So, everyone has their own growth targets for the year. We want to increase the volume. And this is a really strongly emphasize the importance of this holiday, to increase the profit. But keep in mind that already like 22% of shoppers to start looking for ideas like 3 to 6 months before the holiday season, right? So like a lot of the consumers are already looking for the product. So it's good to start building up the momentum before holiday, not just within that Cyber Week. And they also a lot of shoppers across the board also discovered the brands during the pandemic. So definitely make sure you're present online so that you can capture demand there. One of the biggest things, and because of the online, this is going to be such important part of the e-com overall globally. For this year, you want to make sure you're build your store really strongly, and you're not going to be having any hiccups in terms of the performance of your website. So I'm happy to announce that we do have a free online tool from Google's side called Grow My Store, which you can actually submit your URL and check the performance of your overall the website and how does it any maybe delays on the website you're experiencing, how the overall structure, any consumer insights and country benchmarks, all that information is exciting. And all like step-by-step solutions which you can take to improve it are here in this tool. So feel free to check it. I think making sure your website works well for upcoming holidays is really going to be crucial for you, especially given the increase in the volume later on. Now we're going to be breaking down a little bit more for investment and how you can be mindful of what's coming in the future, and then think of your investment allocations for holidays, right? So a couple takeaways or a couple tips for you to allocate your budget during holidays. Evaluate your performance for previous years. So take a look at or what's like right now, how you're trending in terms of your overall impression share. So some of the things from a Google Ads side you can take a look at is lost impression share due to rank. So which gives you an idea of how you're competitive with your targets, right? And then or impression loss because of budget. So ideally, you don't want to be limited by budget, especially if you have a set target for like the return on ad spend, for example. But then keep in mind that you might need to factor in the extra increase in terms of the consumer trend. So to take a look at the, make sure you're not only uncapped, but give it a little bit more extra cushion to account for increased demand for the Black Friday. Consider your competitive positioning, take a look at the auction insights report, and really great tool here, which you can take a look at factoring different conversion rates from the previous period of time is your performance planner. So it gives you an idea of how you can flex your targets and how much incremental revenue you can get, essentially. So it's really good predictive tool. And we also gonna have like optimization of recommendations in account popping up. So take definitely a little bit more closer look on those as well. As I mentioned, so making sure you leave like 30% increase in the budget headroom is going to be important for you. Make sure you're not missing out on opportunity here. And if you have a different conflict in priorities for search, make sure it's sufficiently allocated. So take a look at the shared budgets for search to see if it makes sense, and you're going to be able to let the automation to allocate bids accordingly within your given budget to maximize your efficiency and the return on investment during the holidays. And I know we're going to be really busy all this holidays, so if you are on the go, so we also have an option for you to download our mobile app and check the performance, I guess, on your mobile device on your convenience. The next one, we want to have a little bit more of a deep dive into the search shopping and other networks to see how you can achieve your goals this season with our suite of products. So starting with search, and then we'll transition to discovery, shopping, video action campaigns, and local as well. Nothing changes from our recommendations, but we do want to cover a couple of things in terms of like actual bid strategies. So your goal is to really going to be maximizing return on ad spend, and then more so like driving as much revenue as possible or conversion value as possible within a given budget. So maximize conversion value could be your good strategy to focus on during this holiday season, right? So keep that in mind. It's going to be proactively adjust as any other smart solutions, taking into account intent, which is really important, real time. So even though that customers may not have been demonstrating that intent before, that's the kind of power of smart solutions, because you're going to be able to reach them at the midpoint where they actually showing demonstrating real-time intent signals. And you can use max conversion value specifically to be as aggressive as possible for this higher likelihood of people who would like to contribute revenue to your business. So keep that in mind. It's one of the solutions you can use. Additionally, you can also have like some optional return on ad spend strategy where you're going to be maximizing not only the revenue, but also try like really trying to hit that return on ad spend goal. This is going to be one key levels on tools you can utilize to adjust how competitive you want to be within the holidays. So more relaxed targets, as we call it, or lower return on ad spend goal, usually will help you to be as competitive as possible during the holidays to make sure you're not missing out on the people who like to discover your products and services during the holidays. So definitely take a look at the recommendations page. There's going to be some suggestions are related to if your specific campaigns could be a good fit for like relaxing the targets or lowering the overall the level of it. So make sure you're visible. So those are the two bid strategies. Depends on your business goals. If you focus on efficiency, TRS is your solution. If max conversion value will provide you more peace of mind of maximizing revenue within a given budget as well. Other thing to mention is that prior to all holiday events on all the conversion trends, all the intent signals and everything within the SmartLink solutions will be already accounted for. So it's like because SmartLink learns on the search query level, not the keyword level, but more granularly, and sets auction time real-time bids. So it'll help you to really proactively find the right customers in real time. So most of the already the event seasonality and all the factors going to be factoring automatically into solution. So you don't necessarily have to do any other adjustments during the this short period of time. So because most of that is going to be already in a place in the system. But however, there's a strategy that there are some customers prefer to utilize if they do see really high spike in conversion rate, because they can capitalize on this short-term period of time conversion spikes to really reach more people, because they know if they are going to be able to lower the targets temporarily, the large conversion rate spike will be able to compensate for the loss of efficiency essentially. So don't have to do that at all, and it's only if you're comfortable with understanding that your particular business and industry, if you're looking for the last maybe couple years to understand if the conversion rate been really spike and in really like short period of time, like 1 to 3 days, those are only going to be the cases where you would and you can utilize the adjustments of the targets, specifically for target speed or target ROAS. Here's an example how this might work. So you can either manually do this within that Cyber Monday, Black Friday 3 days, or you can do that. You actually have a tool for this one within if you go to the tools, with strategies and advanced settings, so you're going to be able to see Seasonality Adjustment tool. So instead of like logging in there, in the morning of Black Friday and just trying to do relaxing your goals to be more visible, you can actually preload that information, specific time and day. You can choose specific campaigns, devices, and all that, and put the increase in percentage of conversion rate, which you're going to be able, which you predict of seeing. So the way it will work, like either you're going to do it manually, adjust the targets from 400% to 200, for example, or you put 100% here. It will work similarly, so you don't have to, if you put it in a tool, you don't have to manually adjust or anything, so it automatically will bid more aggressively. So make sure you're going to be visible for higher, larger audience in place. So keep that in mind as one of the solutions. And again, this is only for particular cases where you do see something like this. So really short period of time spikes, conversion rate more than 30% increase, right? So that could be a good use cases where you can capitalize. Again, if you don't do anything, that's totally fine. You're going to be seeing just a larger efficiency, higher return on ad spend, pretty much, if conversion rate is going to go up. But if you do want to take advantage of this, and many customers do like to do that, you can lower your ROAS goals or increase the CPA level to be more competitive. And here's just an example, like you can ramp up from $100 to $200 and then go back down in the end of it a little bit more stricter to 75 and go back to normal 200. So keep in mind, this is one of the solutions you can utilize during events. And just more like a recap, again, most of the seasonal trends and patterns are already factored in, so you don't have to do anything much from automation perspective. But if you would like to utilize this increased demand and conversion rate spike to your advantage, you can definitely feel free to use seasonal adjustments tools. So just call out that there. And one of the considerations, I know there's a lot of folks might be worried how this will trigger my learning periods or not. So the target adjustment is no longer going to be trigger learning periods. So it's a great improvement for the last couple of years the product made. So no worries there. You definitely, going to be optimizing for whichever target you set in place. So, be mindful also that your target or like the smart being will also factor in your conversion lag, right? So some people tend to, click on an ad, open up, but then convert later. So that will be already factored into the process. So if you don't see conversions immediately, so also check the strategy report, because it will give you a lot more information how long is your time like for that particular campaign. And don't need to revert back to manual necessarily, just because it doesn't actually give you any more control. So if you do want to be more aggressive, like in auctions during that specific event, if you have a spend target, you need to be really visible, then you can just lower your ROAS goals or increase target SPA. It will be exactly equivalent if you were trying to do that manually for individual keywords with more hustle. right? But the targets build automatically. If you were to increase it or ROAS to decrease it, will immediately go into like very next option to give you more visibility with your new target, right? So it will cascade down to all individual auctions real time. And keep in mind, doing all this process, you're still going to be able to reach those high intent users. Whereas if you're trying to do that manually, you'll be shooting in the dark and trying to see if people want to convert or not, then you're not going to have any control from the manual side of actually capitalizing on their intent. So definitely stick to target spear, target ROAS, and it will give you a little bit more control if you will need to adjust during like on pivot during those really short period of time, essentially during holidays. And a couple other things to call out if you do have flighted campaigns. So our recommendations from the Smart Being site will be to, if like less than 7 days, for example, the campaign specifically designated to Black Friday, Cyber Monday week, or doing really promotion events, we see that you're going to be able to quickly ramp up if targets pay target ROAS. And if you do want to be a little bit more aggressive in reaching target, again, lower your targets, be a little bit more aggressive, and then increase CPA if you need to gain a little bit more visibility. And again, monitor your campaign. This is a tool you have in your disposal to make sure you're always reaching the goal. So if you do need to pivot, you can absolutely. And this is a control you have in campaign settings to get visibility. Other things for creative side to call out to be ready for holidays. So definitely ensure your responsive search ads will have a really good ad strengths. The tool itself will provide you, once you try to adjust it, will provide you recommendations, whether or not you need to include keywords in your headlines, or if you need to call out specific promotional events or availability of your product. So there's going to be a lot of insights built in the tool already. So to make sure you have a good ad strength, I think we see like on average up to like 8 or more % increase of responsive search ads being a really good ad strength versus like average one. So definitely capitalize on making sure you put the right assets in place and right messaging. Leverage different extensions types, right? It's a free real estate space. It's extra place for you to put information relevant to the users in the holidays. So promotion price extensions, the good ones. Options for you to showcase your deals. And if you are eligible for image extensions, definitely there's like just a quick search on this. There's a support article. You can take a look at what eligibility requirements are and how you can leverage. I mean, image extensions could be really powerful as well during the holidays. Transition a little bit more, pivoting for smart shopping and how you can leverage all our like product listing ads across different networks. So it's really powerful tool. We do see on average, then comparing to like regular shopping, right? So that smart shopping drives 30% increase in conversion value. And there's a couple of reasons why. So the first one is really that it has a really unique set of combination of strategies, right? So it has maximized conversion value, which is also combined with target ROAS. So which is the approach we're taking larger into other networks as well. But this is by itself also gives you a lot more, not only control for like which targets you want to optimize for, but also trying to maximize as much revenue as possible within given target, like even if it means overachieving that. So you won't stop, as long as you have like the budget is sufficient, it will do as much as it can to not only hit the target, but maybe even overachieve that to make sure you're, reach as many people as possible and then spend your budget and get more revenues more efficiently, right? So that is one of the main reasons why smart shopping is more effective than regular shopping. And then the other big one is that you also, you're not stuck only within Google.com, you're also reaching the people across networks, right? So your mail, Google, Gmail, and then YouTube network as well. So the display networks are available as well. You can be able to reach people on them. And then part of the smart shopping is dynamic remarketing. So which is you don't have to create a campaign on standalone if you don't have to, because smart shopping already has that component in place. And there's a saying that the cheapest user is the one you already paid for. So if you really try to acquire them on a google.com if you're shopping ads, but for some reason they left and they got busy, lives get in the way, but this is a good opportunity for you to remind them about your products dynamically, and smart shopping does that for you. That's why exactly it's a really more effective and powerful tool for you to drive extra revenue, right? So just because of people try to remember you back and then go back and convert later at a later date. So that's it's powerful. Even more so during last few years as well. When running smart shopping, not only for 30% increase in conversion value, we saw like on at par and compared to regular shopping, but even in addition to that, other 30% increase in revenue when utilized on those like Cyber Monday weeks as well. So that's like 60% up there for you to, on average, right? You can capitalize and get the revenue traction from smart shopping campaigns. So really powerful tool. Here's an example how it would look like across the networks, right? So really nice and sleek interface, and then dynamic remarketing, as you can see here, it could be part of that. And if you're you want to do prospecting, you actually can. So the lower ROAS goal on smart shopping will mean that you're going to be doing more prospecting as a part of the combination of the smart shopping strategy. So not only you don't have to be stuck only for dynamic prospecting piece of that display network, but you also are doing the dynamically the remarketing, but prospecting as well. So that both of the things kind of work together. Everything is tied to, and really with one goal for you to make sure you hit your ROAS goals, but also gain as much revenue as possible. So that's one of the good, powerful tools there. And as you might already know, you do have an option with smart shopping, not only to focus on retaining your high-value customers, right, but also try to acquire the new ones. And one of the options you have is actually increase the focus if you do want to, and especially if you're in holiday season. A lot of businesses try to acquire new customers because they know how much the lifetime value they can potentially receive from those holiday shoppers in the coming years. So the smart shopping has actually, here you can see the settings here where you can check mark box for new customer acquisition. This is to distinguish and let the smart bidding solutions to emphasize importance of new customers if they see that based on your dynamic remarketing audiences which you're tracking on your from your website. So that will you can put extra expected value, how much you're expecting to from those customers. So make sure like that conversion value prediction, which just happens from target ROAS or maximized conversion value real time, will you can add extra value there for new customers to be more aggressive too. And good news is that you do have a sort of segmented reporting for new versus how many new customers you get from versus existing, and then broken down what this extra value you provided to will be like you can be able to calculate your difference between your ROAS of actual one or the ones with the new customer acquisitions, right? So the reporting is there in your disposal. We can segment by new versus existing customers as well on a campaign level. So that's available for you if you want to utilize this option to be more stronger performance from the new customer segment. And always don't forget that the really big important piece of overall any shopping is really making sure your product feed is approved, and really you're definitely like do it now. Essentially, try to make sure there's no disapproved products in the feed. Try to go in a little bit more in depth of Google Merchant Center, and to ensure you're ready from your product feed perspective, that nothing is disapproved, because it's going to be much harder to deal with this one once you're within those peak days, right? So you want to be ready from that perspective. Yeah, so kind of a recap here. So preview your peak preparedness for holiday season. So make sure you allocate 30% more headroom in your search and shopping on average daily spend in October as you come to the Black Friday, Cyber Week in November there. Use your target RAS for maximum value of your search and shopping as a strategist to select how aggressive you want to be, and really maybe consider lowering your ROAS goals, and many businesses do actually, so to make sure you capitalize on increased demand there. Yeah, and then with that, from conversion from search and shopping to a little bit more the networks of discovery, video action campaigns are local. But before I go into this, curious if Paul and team, you can help me see any questions popping up so far we can address.
Hey, Alex, great presentation so far. So yeah, I've got one question about the slide on seasonality adjustments. How far in advance should we create the seasonality adjustments?
Yeah, great question. So in a tool, you can preload it now if you know and if you're comfortable with your conversion rate. So if you took a look at for like last year or year before, and you know that it's going to be a really short period of spike, right? 1 to 3 days, and your conversion rate is maybe going to double, wherever that really high magnitude of conversion rate is going to be for maybe not at all account, but specific product lines. You can actually put that in place now. So it's not going to be in effect until the actual time and date is specified. So like for now, like you can go now there and then put, okay, from midnight of 29th to like end of the Cyber Monday day, or 26th to 29th of November, I'm gonna predict of seeing my conversion rate go like by 100% or 30%, wherever that might be, and nothing's gonna happen until that date, right? On those days, your target will be automatically on the back end adjusted to reflect your predicted conversion rate spike, right? So you can put that in a tool now if you like to. It will kick in only in those specific dates you designated specified. But unfortunately, you have to do that manually. If you want to do it manually, then you have to do it manually, right? So that's why the tool itself gives you a little bit more, peace of mind and control to preload the things ahead of the actual day. Great question.
Awesome, that's really going to help people plan in advance. So I'll go through one more question now, and this is much more high level. Is what sort of discounts and incentives should somebody offer if they're using the Google shopping campaigns? What kind of stands out? Like, can they use a free shipping offer or free add-ons, or does it just have to be cutting that price to get the lowest headline price in the ad there?
No, absolutely. If you have any promotional the toggles or like the free shipping or maybe fast expediting shipping, the delivery, any options you have to stand out in those peak holiday season, like you definitely do that. If you like leverage every asset you can possibly get, because we do find that people are reacting really well and positively to those offers. So if you have one and if your business can afford that from this holiday perspective, I will definitely strongly encourage you to utilize any option you have.
Excellent. So I think there's some more questions coming in, but if we go back to the presentation now, I can ask some more at the end there for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So moving on a little bit more different formats to, again, you don't like the one performance side, search and shopping. So they're really great, powerful tools, but you're not really only stuck to those, right? So you have a lot of more the suites and exciting products like Discovery here, which you can see that you can utilize open canvas format, right? So you can see here, like on the home page or what's next feed, you're going to be able to see really your ad, really sleek, the social look-like format. On the Discovery itself is really a popular platform right now. There's a lot of users which are leveraging that on a daily basis, which is one of the biggest advantages of which you can actually customize your discovery or news feed to your interests, right? And then that's why it's sort of popular, because it's only the news are tailored to their interests particularly. So you're going to be able to see your ad actually up there within the blend of their interests. And then last but not least, you also in your promotional tab of your Gmail, for people who actually are actively looking for some offers and ready to buy, right? So you're going to be able to put the Discovery ad up there as well. So all in all, really slickish looking format from open canvas perspective. And then really good performance so far. So feel free to explore a little bit more, and then yes, to see if you can be able. It's going to be, hopefully, it will be a good fit for your holiday strategy. We do see that, in addition to that, not only the format itself, but if you're utilizing that combination of good high performing audiences such as custom intent, customer match, remarketing, similar audiences. And for those of you who are not familiar, so custom intent is actually bridging the gap between what users are looking on a google.com. So you can designate specific keywords. If the people were to be looking at them on the google.com, you can actually use the same, you can track those audiences and you can target them on Discovery now. So you can do the same on video action campaigns as well, other networks, right? And it's like the custom intent is a really powerful tool for you to leverage those high intent the users and make sure you're visible whenever they leave google.com, right? So other platforms here. So take a look at this one. We see higher conversion rates, like 81% up to you've utilized some of those audience solutions, right? And then my lower cost per acquisition by 25% on average. So definitely keep that in mind for your targeting strategy with discovery campaigns. And you can start with a single image, but then obviously there's going to be different preferences from different people into how they're perceiving your brand and the company. So having a multi-image carousel will only benefit you moving forward. So yeah, check it out. So it's a pretty exciting the format we have from Discovery side. And yeah, existing creative. The good news is that you don't have to invent the wheel, right? So you can utilize all the social assets you've been already running, Facebook, Instagram, for example, to use the same high-performing images to prep for this holiday season with Discovery ad formats, because it's really similar in terms of the formatting itself and the probably like asset requirements. So really could be easy fit just to transition things over. Yeah, for the video action campaigns, and this is evolution of our true action campaigns, so like new really high performing tailored campaign for you to find your customers who are ready to buy. So the video action will help you to promote your brands across the, again, home feed, your watch page, and actually Google Video Partners, right? So like if they're all outside of YouTube, they're on the one of our millions of partners and some the display network where they actually see the videos. You can actually utilize that format as well to target with the video action campaigns and show your ads up there for within an in-stream format, right? All the media performance of video action campaigns, there's definitely, you can utilize the power automation here as well, so maximizing your performance with really like smart ring solutions which are going for like higher intent users. It's really simple setup here, and conversion-based tracking as a smart ring solutions are such as maximize conversion value, target speed, going to be able to you can be leveraging that as well for video action campaigns. So that's just why it's a much greater performance than regular video ads you used to. So this is a couple of things too, and we're more like a checklist for you to help supercharge your video action campaigns for success. So quickly here, start with conversion tracking. So Google Ads, will help you to not only make sure you're also reaching the users who are who would like to convert. So like our machine learning algorithms for Smart Bing, it's not only predicts and understands the real-time intent signals, but it's also always, and it's true across all suites of products, right? For search, shopping, video action campaigns here, it helps you to learn not only who are the users who like to overall convert for this type of product, but also specifically the ones who prefer your brand as well. So your assets, your landing pages. And this is based on your conversion tracking. So this is really important to make sure you got that right. And it will be really more like a neural network solution for understanding who are those customers or who are potential users who would like to convert specifically with you, right? Not just like any intent signals, but the ones who are actually would like to convert with you. So that's why definitely get that right. As you started to set up, just leads, sales, and website as a goal for campaigns, and that will lead you to creating video action campaigns. As a bid strategy, you can either utilize target SPA or maximize conversions, depending again on your goal, similarly to what we discussed before for like if you have efficiency focus, the target SPA could be an option. Keep in mind you could be potentially, you can set the higher CPA level for video as it compares to overall, like in your search formats, just because of the different network, right? But that's an option for you. And then maximizing conversions. If you don't have a set target in place, goal in place, but you can drive as many conversions as possible within your given budget. This is also the solution for flighted campaigns, could be a good use case as well. For daily budgets, right? So this is a little bit more recommendations here, but if you know your predicted, target SPA level, for target SPA campaigns, you can set up a 15x for daily budget, and then for max conversion value, CPA of 10x, right? So maximize conversions if you're utilizing that business strategy. So just to kind of, this is specific for video action campaigns, right? So keep that in mind. And we touched a little bit more audiences, use those powerful audiences, which are helping you to reach more like the users who are more ready to buy. So including, custom intent audiences, customer match, and so forth. Add site link extensions. So it's really powerful because if once you see your ad live, all the site link extensions are really helping to make sure people can be, who are interested to buy at that time, you can be able to actually click to the website directly and then convert to that on the spot. So that's definitely utilize site link extensions. And different users going to be able to have different preferences for which kind of assets they see. So experiment of adding different creatives, right? Changing your call to action button to see maybe they can react to the different messaging there, or some headline text, or even the core assets if you have variation of your different the video creative. Feel free to utilize those as well for your video action campaign. Okay, last but not least, touch a little bit more on the local campaign side. So, if you have your physical stores and you like to drive not only the online presence, but market like actual store visits or like actual foot traffic to optimize for omni-channel, really, you can do that too with local campaigns. So it's really powerful format, which are because we know how many people already, how many shoppers are starting to discover your brand online, but maybe some of them will utilize we pick up at the curbside, right, or pick up at the store option if you have that. So definitely this is a cool format for you to, if you would like to capture the demand online, but then make sure they're coming to the stores, and you can track that information with local action campaigns and target them. As you can see, a couple of helpful stats here. So 42% of retailers are now offering, buy online, pick up in store, so curbside pickup options. So that's got a little bit more insights for you where the industry is going. So that this is why running the local campaigns like this one could be a powerful tool. And 60% of US holiday shoppers agree that their digital sources, they consolidate digital sources before actually coming to the store. So they most likely they already know where to go at that time. So that's why they targeted online is the first step, but then local campaigns will help you to also track if the result really, how many how many store visits you actually got, or as a result of this of your online ads, which is a powerful tool for your omni-channel strategy essentially. And this is cool like layout for how that might look like on the different networks. So you can see here on the Google Maps side, you can see your ad trailer for your product popping up, and on that actual map as well, right? So because part of that, you also have your location extensions, right? So you know where the product is, and you can actually see that as an ad on the map here showing up as an example. On the search, of course, there's going to be also on that information. You can see it pop up of your ad. Business profile, if you open some other business, there's also going to be a reminder that your brand is an option for those type of events, and you can capitalize on your actual business profile to leverage some of the events or your ad copy if you have any promotion specifically for your display as well network. You can click then on the kind of link on the map, and it will be able to bring you, like, actually open your Google Maps, and you're going to be able to physically drive to that location if you're interested. And here's an example as well. So like YouTube ads, so you can actually utilize the video assets, right? So you can run same from collateral, same creative which you have on your reduction campaigns, for example, on local campaigns as well. So, and then if the people are interested, there's a link for them to click, and then which drives and induces them to get to the store, or like or if you want to buy online, they can do that as well. So keep that in mind. And one thing I forgot to mention, but this is, I think, across both or like 3 product types or product networks, really, for local campaigns, reduction campaigns, and smart shopping, they all can utilize the video assets. So you can have our either customized formats, or you can leverage the same messaging across the board. So it really helps to supercharge your performance on the YouTube network. So if you have the good assets there, we'll certainly encourage you to utilize them. And this is more like a considerations for your video action campaigns in terms of the budgets, multiple assets, 5 headline descriptions and so forth. Good number of images here are going to be able to help you. And your daily budget is $1,000 here for local campaigns as a requirement. You try to take a little bit more time, 4 to 6 weeks to ramp up. I think this is it from in terms of actual formats and what the tips and tricks for upcoming holidays. So quick recap, kind of the next steps you can take. So definitely, number 1, don't be stuck to one format, right? So keep in mind that even if the users, customers potentially like to visit your in stores or go back to the stores, they are all discovering products first and foremost online. So and then they're taking an action in the store. So be visible across different product platforms, and we mentioned a few of them today. Utilize utilize or maximize your value or target ROAS strategies for bidding to make sure you're competitive. And then if you do have your flighted campaigns or some promotional events coming up, those could be good solutions as well. And if you do need to pivot real time, you still can utilize this adjustment of targets as we discussed to make sure you're more visible and then proactive to target, and then just stand out in competition, because again, competition is going to be intensifies as well during those key days. So you don't want to lose to your competitor, right, to capture the demand. And ensure you have a good, decent budget, right, across the campaigns, because even though you're not capped by budget, right, you might be in the future. So keep that in mind, just as the holiday trends continue. So this is it from my side, and I guess we're open for the questions at this point.
Awesome, thank you, Alex. So just before we go to questions, I've just got a couple of things for our viewers, which I'm going to share here. Great, so yeah, just want to let everybody know that if you found this webinar useful, but you'd like some one-to-one help there, we've got some experts that are running Google Ads all the time at AdEspresso. We can do both one-to-one strategy calls. Also, we do tactical campaign reviews. Obviously, they're provided by the AdEspresso team, not directly from Google, but we do work very closely with Google Ads all the time. So those are available to book within the services tab in AdEspresso there, if you're a customer. If you're not a customer yet, a little thank you for watching this webinar. I would like to give you the opportunity to take a free 14-day trial and also 30% off. This is exclusive for webinar viewers. Just go to adespresso.com /AE-webinar, as you can see there. And then just a heads up on next month's webinar, our November webinar. Alex is going to be returning again, and we're going to be talking about lead generation. So getting serious about lead generation with Google Ads. If you're interested in that, completely free as always, you can sign up at adespresso.com/webinars. And then we're going to open up to questions. Just see, by the way, the comments that we're getting in, people asking about replay because there's lots of information there. And yes, we'll be sending out the replay by email. If for any reason it doesn't arrive, just go to adespresso.com/webinars, and we try and send those out and upload the replays to the website within 24 hours. So Alex, that's really great. That's like so actionable. That is like the perfect playbook for Q4 and the holiday season there. So just going to look at the questions that we've got coming in. And I've got one about how we can manage likely delays with e-commerce deliveries before and after the holiday shipping cutoff, as it's expected to be a lot earlier than the previous seasons. So any kind of tips you can pass on there about logistics?
And to clarify, this is more in terms of the actual delivery, right, of the products.
Yeah.
And there's different ways of customers approaching that. So typical ones I see that businesses are transparent in terms of any potential delays they might have. After the people maybe purchase the products, they're clearly and proactively communicating if they're expected any delays, just to be peace of mind if to consumers that there might happen. So there's not that, I guess, clear, easy solution for this one, except for probably being a little bit more proactive and then making sure a good user experience really throughout the process, and to tracking the orders and what is order status and all that information. I think that information might be useful for the customers, especially during the busy season.
Awesome. So another question that's come in is one that we get a lot. So if you don't sell seasonal products, what should you do in Q4? Should you change your strategy, or should you be reducing ad spend there?
If they do or do not, sorry.
Or if they don't, so say you're a business that doesn't sell physical products, or just doesn't sell seasonal products. If you don't see any uptick in demand, should you go and pull back the ad spend and leave it to the kind of retailers and the e-commerce merchants, or should you continue spending as normal?
Yeah, this is a great question. So ultimately, as a business, you would like to, like speaking to the business I work with, right? Want to capitalize revenue during any month of the year, really. As long as you have like good return on ad spend. So our more like a notion we're trying to go to market right now is more like you don't have to be budget capped as much, or more like investment capped, but you could be thinking how much return on investment or how much return on ad spend you would like to get during that particular season, right? So as long as you're like, for example, you're hitting your life to get 150 return on ad spend goal, and that target doesn't really change during the year. Of course, you can adjust it. But if this is not the big season for you, but you're still happy with 150%, for example, return on ad spend, then there should be no reason why you're kind of pulling back, because you know that you're still making a profit, and you can utilize like source marketing solutions to optimize for that return on ad spend. So, which is great because it still will try to find you the people who are likely to convert within that return on ad spend goal you have. But then within that ad spend goal or ROAS goal, you don't really need to be capped by budget, right? So like you want to get as much revenue as possible within that efficiency target you have. So those are typically the ways customers who are like either you're seasonal or not, but they're sticking to that one. They would rather be more like efficiency and goal capped versus budget capped. Because on the business side, of course, you would like to get as much revenue as possible, right? And then pulling the budget spend is not, like not necessarily gives you that advantage, but you can utilize your targets as adjustments or your goals to get as much as many customers as possible within that set target. I think that could be a little bit more more like a evergreen solution which you can take even the slow season as well.
That's really useful, and I find this I do a lot with Facebook ads, that it's really about having your goals there so that it can be flexible. Like you're saying, you need to know what your return on ad spend you need, or what your cost per purchase, that CPA, is, so that you can monitor things, and then you can make a decision basically in real time there, rather than having to, like, say in advance, this is going to be my strategy for Q4. So knowing your goals, knowing your numbers, knowing your metrics, really important there.
Yeah, and
So
keep in mind as well, if you have a like lead gen client, right? I think we're going to speak to that next time, but it's not like people are going to stop searching for those products as well. Sure, they're going to spend more money on the buying seasonal products, but there's still going to be some intake, and like still going to be some demand there for your product as well. So you definitely want to make sure you reach those users when they're ready to convert or buy your products in as well.
absolutely. So we've got time for one more question. So this was one that was sent in by email. Somebody very enthusiastic. They're setting up a new business, and I think they said in their details that they're going to open the doors on e-commerce on about the 15th of November, so right into the holiday season. So it's a new business, and they don't have a customer list yet or a track record of sales. So what they want to know is there still potential? Can they start advertising during the holiday season, or do they need to hold on and wait till they build up the organic sales and also build up their customer list? So just any insights you can help
Yeah,
that person out with their new business there.
no, absolutely. And keep in mind that having customer list is important, but it's not a requirement, right? And to give you a little bit more context, and I think just to fuse some of the misconceptions in the marketplace, even you do have like, say you like on the search campaign, right? You have your audience list you can kind of track and see is like in observation mode, so how limiting yourself to that specific list, and let me know if that's too much technicality there, but essentially it's not that the list itself of customers you collected to, they could or could not be actionable, right? It's going to be depending on your on actual individual interests at the real time. So the good news is that you don't even need to have the customer list or anything from like building up your sales credit like historically to start targeting the users real time, because the good power is that you can that people are looking for you for those type of products as yours once you open up your business, and you can leverage one of those networks we discussed, right? So you can like meet them on a search or shopping if you have a time to kind of ramp up and get everything ready. Maybe you can have a little bit more aggressive approach, relaxing your goals. If you don't have one yet, maybe you can start with like what could be like good assumption there where you can deal with, but then monitor your impression share lost and because of rank. And if you see yourself that is really high, then you might probably not as competitive during this short period of ramp up time. So you can decrease your ROAS goal or increase target speed goal to be more competitive. So you definitely can ramp up really quickly. You don't have to have a customer match list necessarily to target it then, because like the biggest bother of the overall thing, the solutions we discussed too, is that you can find the people at the time they're looking for and actively trying to buy the products, right? Even like on video action campaigns, they can build a customer intent list. So people who are you don't even know your brand, but they've been looking for those products on google.com, right? And you can say, okay, I want to target these people. So you can do that too, even without having any historical list in place, or like as easy as this on the shopping, targeting people who are new to your business, right? So like optimizing for a given target.
That's really good advice, and certainly what I see with clients is I've been advertising for quite a few years now, and clients always kick themselves after the holiday season if they were too cautious during there, because simply we only get one holiday season a year, obviously. So sometimes they pull back their ad spend, they're a little bit cautious, they don't launch their new products or new ranges, and then afterwards they're sat there in January and really wish that they had really capitalized on that holiday season. So definitely give that a go. And yeah, have those metrics in mind like we discussed, so that you're not just running campaigns blindly. But good luck there. And really good luck to everybody with their holiday campaigns. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Also, I'd just like to say a big thank you, Alex, for presenting today, and the whole Google team for your support. It's really appreciated there.
Thank you so much, Tim. It's always a pleasure on your partnership of terrific AdEspresso team. I really appreciate it, and thank you all the viewers. Hope you get ready for holiday season.
Thank you, Alex. So have a good day, everybody. And remember the replay, adespresso.com/webinars. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim.